Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So we've got this from ChartNerd today, XRP. The structure is uncanny. The only difference is this fractal is market positioning. Guys, check out the fractal that he's looking at here from 2017. Compare that to what we're seeing right now, this 1, 2, 3, 4 structure. I'm not sure if that's a thing or not, but what he's noticing here is a similar wave pattern. Okay, we're not going to call it Elliott wave, but it is a similar wave pattern here. Number 4 basing here before we see, well, hopefully an uptick up 7,452%. So are we seeing this being set up on the chart right now? What I will say about the XRP price at the moment is that it is still holding up significant support, which is very, very positive, okay? So if we were to, if we were to just throw a horizontal line here on the chart, you guys can see here where we did wick down here. I'm just going to show you guys where we did wick down. Boom, hit that line, pretty much pinpointed that. And even the wicks downward, even if we went below and then closed above, we did see that twice, 3 times, technically 4 times because there's 2 wicks in there. The only other time that we saw XRP close below that level was down and around here in early April. We did see a rebound. It came back down, retested that level, and then went up to make new all-time highs. So the thing that's looking positive on the chart at the moment is the fact that XRP is still maintaining this level in here. And as you guys can see over the last hour, as I'm recording this, XRP is starting to move up. Okay, it's moving up on low liquidity, so who knows how sustained this will be. You guys can see over the late hours last night, XRP did pop, get up to $2.07, then came right back down to about $2.02. So now it is moving up again. What I'm assuming is that Bitcoin is also making a move right now. As you guys can see on the chart, we've got Bitcoin poking its head up as well. So market just essentially moving to the beat of Bitcoin price. Currently, we've got one Bitcoin going for 89,400. Fear and greed is now at 22. So it is also slowly moving up. Market cap is up above $3 trillion. That's down though about 0.18%. So not by much. You guys can see the altcoin market mainly green today with XRP up 0.87% in the last 24 hours. So we're not seeing a lot of liquidity entering the market. And we're not seeing these massive moves to the downside, which would denote classic bear market activity. Guys, on the Bitcoin chart, we are also seeing here, if I throw this back on the daily, take that off auto for a minute, remove some of that, you guys can see Bitcoin is slowly looking like what it's making are higher lows and higher highs. We do need to get up above this level, though, which is roughly $94,000 per coin, 94.2 give or take. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens next. Well, M2 money supply has hit a new all-time high, and this generally has denoted a money inflow to risk-on assets like cryptocurrency. We're not seeing that at the moment. I guess we should pay attention to what's happening in traditional markets as well. S&P 500 still also just kind of struggling to get up past that all-time high. Of course, today is Sunday, December the 7th, if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it. So markets are not open today. Let's take a look at the Russell. Russell also just flirting with that high. So we do need to see, despite the fact that M2 money supply has hit a new all-time high, we do need to see that translate into the market. The other thing that I've noticed here from BART chart here, Google searches for dollar debasement have soared this quarter to the highest level in history. Not just the highest level this year or within the last 5 years or last decade, the highest level in history. So obviously, and I'm assuming this is, well, maybe it's not just Americans, maybe it is worldwide. Oh no, this does say United States. So in the United States, Americans are worried about dollar debasement more than they ever have before. We should be keeping our eye on this, says Jay Claver. This is a retweet out from R3. Okay, 1 year ago, few would have believed it. SEC chairman publicly breaking down tokenization and predicting that markets could be on chain within 2 years. Do you think that this is correlated to dollar debasement? I certainly think so.
Tokenization is the idea of using then smart contracts or tokens on-chain to be able to, that represent, say, an underlying security. And so then that tokenized security is a security and would be subject to SEC rules by law. But the idea is that if it's on-chain, on a blockchain, then there's much more transparency as to where it is. Right now, there's a bit of opacity as to who owns what and where the company usually doesn't even know where its who its shareholders are and where the shareholders reside, where the shares reside. So tokenization has the benefit of potentially having, instead of T+1 now trade date +1 for clearance and settlement, the prospect of maybe T0 now, depending on the instrument, and we have to think about netting and all sorts of other things with respect to some instruments. But in principle, the idea of on-chain delivery versus payment and receipt versus payment, DVP, RVP on-chain, is a prospect of de-risking the markets, making them much more transparent and then sure as far as clearance and settlement, because it's always that the gap between clearance and settlement and then delivery and payment is the real introduces risk into the system.
Do you expect this is where financial services is going? Are the major banks and the brokers out there today moving increasingly toward tokenization?
Oh, absolutely. And it's the way the world will be, here in maybe not even in 10 years, maybe even a lot less time, maybe a couple of years from now. So I think that all of this modernization of the markets, I think, is good. There were really only 2 countries in the world here in the last few years that were working to make cryptocurrencies illegal, and that was Communist China and the U.S. through the SEC. So that's changed. It's a new day now, and so we want to embrace this new technology.
Obviously, the SEC not looking to make cryptocurrencies illegal anymore. That's a good thing. The walls between TradFi and DeFi are coming down, and we're going to see tokenization become a lot more apparent, not even within 10 years, within a couple of years, says Paul Atkins here. So modernizing the system, obviously, to help preserve U.S. dollar dominance. This all, ties into what this IMF report did highlight here. From subjective views, the IMF's latest report spotlights how stablecoin market cap has exploded to over $300 billion, okay? With 97% of USD, so US dollar pegged stablecoins, that would be USDT and USDC, driving $23 trillion in 2024 trading volume. And guys, this is happening mostly in Asia. So that's interesting. We're not seeing it occurring in the United States. Of course, we just penned comprehensive stablecoin regulation in the US. Upside to this, so massive efficiency gains in cross-border payments and remittances. The IMF is worried that the rapid adoption could fuel currency substitution in high inflation or fragile economies. Well, isn't that the point? Eroding monetary sovereignty, amplifying capital flow volatility, and even forcing central bank interventions during runs or fire sales. So this is the thing, USDC or USDT, I guess we could say just stablecoins in general. Eventually it will be the RLUSD. This is really going to change the game. And private stablecoins, it says here, and CBDCs can coexist, but only with smart, coordinated policy. We're going to see chains being interoperable so that everybody can transfer their preferred stablecoin to where they want. But it is going to debase local currencies. It's definitely going to do that. We're already seeing this in Asia. And we're just going to keep seeing those flows coming in. XRP is quietly becoming the first digital asset with a self-reinforcing liquidity engine that combines macro-scale inflows with protocol-level utility. This coming from Stern Drew. And he's saying this is not speculation, it is mechanical. So here's the structure. ETF inflows begin with compression, okay? Regulated ETFs are absorbing XRP at a steady pace and removing it from the liquid float. Once inside these structures, units are rarely sold. They become long-term custody assets, not trading inventory. This is stage 1 of float reduction. So we're actively seeing this, guys. Exchange reserves shrink as ETFs accumulate and market makers reprice liquidity. Exchange balances trend lower. Less inventory on exchanges means thinner walls sell walls and higher sensitivity to demand. Price becomes more reactive and more efficient. This is stage 2 of compression. And then we have number 3, RLUSD corridors add real settlement flow. So we're going to eventually see that coming in as as we do see more stablecoin adoption occur. Ripple's regulated stablecoin creates predictable on-chain liquidity cycles. So RLUSD to XRP to fiat flows generate continuous demand pressures that are unrelated to speculation. Banks and enterprises prefer settlement assets with predictable throughput. This expands structural XRP usage. So again, this is more of what we're going to see to bolster up XRP utility, and it will be more predictable. The XRP utility won't be as hit or miss. I think we're going to see constant flows of XRP usage based on these types of protocols here. ZK identity infrastructure unlocks enterprise level utility. Okay, so that is for the DNA protocol. I'm just going to skip over that one. Institutional custody finalizes the flywheel, though, when banks, treasuries, and asset managers hold XRP in regulated custody. The circulating float becomes fragmented and permanently reduced. More locked supply means every marginal unit must be purchased in thinner markets. This mathematically forces price revaluation. So that is the a different type of flywheel effect here, courtesy of Stern Drew. I mean, we are seeing it in drips and drabs. We are seeing XRP utility occur in small, meaningful ways like this. SendApp by Flutterwave has now launched their physical card. You guys probably already know Flutterwave is a Ripple partner, and today they announced that they will be launching, or this was yesterday, that they have launched their SendApp travel card, a new physical Naira card designed for Nigerians in the diaspora returning home for the festive season. So I talked about this a little bit last week, but we are now seeing meaningful partnerships and Ripple partnered companies doing what they do best, creating solutions so that payments can run smoothly for their customers. It says here in December, a lot of Nigerians travel home for the holidays, and this the SendApp travel card represents the natural evolution of our mission to bridge financial distance, providing the diaspora with a secure, convenient, new channel for remittance delivery. With this launch, SendApp by Flutterwave is giving Nigerians abroad the ability not just to support life back home, but to fully participate in it if they return with the same ease, control, and convenience they enjoy overseas. So making payments seamless, of course, running on the XRP ledger. This has been, just one example of one of those tests. I don't want to say test because these companies were actually using XRP in the wild, just in very small amounts. So we're not seeing, any kind of meaningful price discovery based on these small partnerships. But, with everything combined and with the institutional demand, guys, it's just going to get much larger. So great news there coming out of Nigeria. Xena XRP also commenting on the Jake Claver show on YouTube that I'm sure some of you guys may have seen, that maybe some of you are talking about. Who could have imagined that Jake could shake the crypto sphere this much? There is always that one person in the spotlight coming at the end of the year making all the big headlines. Jake is for sure upsetting a lot of people right now. But the real question is not about Jake being right or wrong before 2026. The real question is, if he's right, are you ready? Well, what did Jake Claver have to say? I found this clip here. This is from the Good Evening Crypto Podcast. Alert, billionaires are buying XRP right now. Guys, how much credence can we put behind this? I'm going to play you guys this clip and then we're going to discuss a little bit. Listen to this.
Here's what Jake had to say about the supply shock and what this could mean in 2026.
Q2 2026 price prediction. I think we have stable coins at not at scale, but significant usage and volume at that point. Probably $1 trillion or more per year in volume. And then in addition to that, you probably have Swift online. And I'm assuming you're asking about XRP. You didn't state, you did state the asset here. It says 2026 Q2 XRP price prediction. So you probably got Swift online at that point. You got the back-end settlement of the stock market. You've got FX, probably commodities as well. I don't think you'll have derivatives. I don't think that they will actually have tokenized the stock market at that point. I think that's probably going to come in Q3 or Q4 in 2026. But I'd be much more comfortable by the end of 2026 than Q2. I think by the end of 2026, early 2027, you're looking at a $10,000 XRP. Q2's hard to pin down. I don't know. It's very dependent on what's live and what isn't, and how much volume is moving across the network in order to maintain price stability at those higher values. And it also depends on supply and demand dynamics between the ETFs and other applications where people are holding XRP. Treasury companies will be live at that point. Evernorth will be live. It's likely that we will have liquidity pools and pseudo accounts and borrow lend directly on chain live at that point. You may even have, a few other amendments that haven't even been proposed yet on the XRPL for compliance and other smart contract capabilities in place, which will drive even further demand for the asset and lock it up and, not have a ton of supply available on the market to settle all these payments globally. So, there's just a ton of different components there to be able to pin that down. I think if I had to give a range, easily 4 digits, very confident in 4 digits, potentially 5 digits, but I'm going to say 5 digits comes toward the end of 26, early 27.
So 4 digits, 4 digits, definitely 4 digits by 2026. And then by the end of 26, 5 digits. So $10,000 per XRP. Okay, how much credence can we put into this? I don't know, guys. I mean, I think a lot would have to happen for that to occur. A 4-digit XRP, let's not forget, brings XRP up today. Wow. Tremendously. Let's just put this on the 1 month and 4-digit XRP. Okay, and you guys can see I have to shrink that down quite a bit. How much would we have to go up today to get 4 digits? Okay, even just to get $1,000, we would have to see 50,264% to the upside. And then he says 5 digits by the end of 2026. That would mean, oh, geez, wow, that's 496,000% to the upside. Okay. That's insane. I have a feeling it might take a little longer than that, maybe, but I don't know. Put it down in the comments if you guys believe in this. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, I missed this last month. How did I miss this? The bear laughs. After so long, the realization is hitting them that the momentum behind Ripple and XRP will not end. The king and his cohorts got the message. Kindly step aside. Guys, Bearableguy posted this last month. It was on, there it is, October the 30th, 2025. I'm sorry that I missed this. I'm usually on top of this kind of stuff. Nevertheless, I think it is very clear. The bear has made a statement and the old guard is going to be stepping aside. Ripple is taking over. Now, Weiss here commenting on something that David Schwartz did post. If you guys didn't catch this from yesterday, David Schwartz posted these charred, burnt logs. That's at least what this looks like. And Weiss here commenting, Archelect mentioning logs back in 2015. We do have Sawyer Merritt here with a Cybertruck carrying logs in Canada. Of course, there's the Bearableguy log in the fireplace celebrating. And then we've got Mr. Loop from 2023, logs in the forest. Now, why it's interesting, guys? Ian Bin's also posting, you can't make this stuff up. So taking the David Schwartz tweet just from yesterday, of course, we do have the log in the fire. And the other thing that happened, Ivanka Trump did also post this, guys, with the Grateful Dead song Ripple behind it. Now, this was on her, I believe this was on her Instagram. And you remember when Bearableguy posted this 6 years ago, it's all just another brick in the wall. Things that make you go, I'm going to take it a couple more steps further, guys. We've got this David Schwartz tweet with a burnt log. And when you type in burnt logs here in the Gematria calculator, guys, you get 589. That's right. You get all the goodies. ISO, XRP, Ripple the Bull, Donald Trump, Thomas Anderson, 589 being the number associated with burnt logs. 589 CTO also discovered some interesting tweets here from way back in 2021 when David Schwartz did ask the trivia question, why are there long periods of time when no ship crosses some particular part of the Suez Canal, even when it's not blocked by a stuck ship? Now, what he discovered here, the effective management system of the Suez Canal, guys, Article 589, consequently, it is indispensable to revise the present arrival time limit of port said anchorage according to the revisited starting time. So, obviously, there is a connection here to 589. Not only that, let me take it another step further. Another great discovery here from 589 CTO, analyzing another David Schwartz tweet just from yesterday. Who knows the equation for the perimeter of an ellipse off the top of their head. If you don't, try working it out sometime. 589 CTO said I cheated, but I found that to calculate the exact parameter, you would have to need to use the ellipse integrals. And guys, guess where that was located? Page 589 of some sort of a math textbook or something. I happen to find those in a classic reference on elliptical integrals, page 589, the standard handbook from Abramowitz and Stegan. Just a coincidence, right, Joel Katz? Things that make you go, Guys, David Schwartz knows what he's doing here. I think David could be toying with us. The powers that be in the legacy financial system are now stepping aside, or at least Bearableguy says they should. So guys, are we going to see XRP go to $10,000 within the next 12 months? If I'm going to be honest, I highly doubt it, but that's okay. That does not curb my excitement. For more information, though, on where I think the market's actually going to go in the short, medium, and long term, you guys can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. This is where I show all my Patreon subscribers where exactly I'm going to be trading price targets, okay, for all kinds of different cryptocurrencies, including my legacy portfolio, Bitcoin, XRP, and others. And guys, it is only $5 a month, but you got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock into that price. And I also just wanted to mention that the Working Money Channel merch store is up and running. I've got classic Bearableguy merchandise here. Comes in all shapes and sizes, all kinds of different colors too. The classic Bearableguy tee, along with long sleeves and hoodies as well. Check it out. Link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.